welcome back to this week's episode of Friends of Kayla. I have someone very special here who is all the way here from Israel. So Aleeza, welcome back to Miami.
Thank you. So happy to be here.
It's really great to have you here. And I remember watching you on Netflix years ago, it's so fun to see you like in person versus on TV. And your energy just totally is the same as it was on TV. So I love when it matches up too, you know, because some people can be really different off screen and on screen. Yeah. So it's really fun to have you here in person. And dating, matchmaking, this is a subject that I am very passionate about, especially being Jewish. You know, after October 7th, I think a lot of us are looking to connect with other Jews, probably more so now than ever. Very excited to get your perspective and just hear what you've been up to. I asked my followers what they'd want to hear from you. And the first question is, how did you get into this career?
It's funny because it's a career, but it's not a career, right? Like nobody goes to university for this. You don't like go to study matchmaking at this point in time. There's nothing that exists like that. I was always the go-between between friends. I grew up secular and I became observant. So I remember being in, I don't know, 6th grade and being like, you know, she likes you, and oh, I think he likes you. And they're like, how do you know? Did they tell you? And I was like, I just know.
That's great. I love this.
And then, you know, like we'd have our little, like, you know, 2-week romance in 6th grade that always like imploded and made chaos. But I always seemed to be a go-between. And the first match that I really made was from one of my high school friends. And once we graduated in college, we'd all like had a reunion. We met up and she met her husband. I didn't like make the match. Like we were all sitting at a table and then a few people went to talk and then it was like the 3 of us and I was like, I'm like a third wheel. I gotta disappear. And I like ran to the bathroom and I left them there for 20 minutes to talk and they got married.
Wow.
So like I always saw myself as a connector and as bringing somebody together or bringing people together. And I just felt really passionate about it. And then in my mid 20s, I got married myself, which is a whole other story. And I was like, I'm going to get married, have kids. And I was like, what am I going to do? And my girlfriend's like, oh, I do matchmaking online. You could just like be a matchmaker. And I was like, yeah. It was like community, volunteer, give back. And it started out as a hobby and a chesed, and it developed into a full-time job because there's nothing else I want to do in life besides this.
Yeah, this is such a rewarding,
I love it.
Rewarding job, career, passion, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
How many couples have you successfully set up to this day?
So I've helped over, it's probably like 250, probably we're upwards of 300 people to get married. Sometimes I'm the matchmaker. I set them up. Sometimes people send me matches like they're already set up, but they're in like crazy moment of like, we're either going to break up or get married and we don't know what to do.
Oh, wow.
And then they send them to me for like emergency support. Yeah. And we go through it.
Oh, let's talk about that. That's very interesting because I feel like we're in this day and age of, you know, people are finding dating really, really difficult.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's a product of social media, of just there being so many options. But, you know, a lot of people will, you know, go to the end of a relationship and decide to get married when they know it's not right. Or vice versa, end up breaking up. So what are some themes that you've seen in some of these like emergency situations where people are deciding like what to do?
I think a lot of people have an internal fear, and the fear is either a fear of commitment or a fear of making the wrong decision or a fear of like this not exactly knowing, right? Like if you get a job and you don't like your job, so you can like quit your job and go get a new job. If you don't like what you're doing, you can start a business. Like you could do anything. But if you get married and you don't want to be married, it's not so easy to pull everything apart. And it's chaotic and it creates a lot of stress. So people want to make sure that they're making a decision that they can live with for a lifetime. And in that moment, they're like, I don't know. Like, how old am I? And how do I know what I'm going to want in 20, 30, 40 years from now? How do I know the decision I'm making today is a good decision that I can choose to live by for the rest of my life? And that I'm picking a solid quality human that's going to still be a good human in another 20, 30, 40 years. So there's a lot of thinking, and then you combine that with feelings, and then it's how do I feel, and how do I feel in this moment, and how do I feel with you, and how do I feel after a fight, and how do I feel when we're happy, and pulling all of that together. And both of those things are internal. So your thinking and your feelings are inside, and we feel them but we don't see them. We don't like, it's not like data that I can analyze.
Right.
So I've tried to create a system that's called Soulmate Clarity that helps us to get our thinking and our feelings out and actually analyze it so that we can look at it and say, I am making a good decision and I'm making one with my head and I'm making one with my heart. And here's the reasons I'm doing it. And I have the skills that I could follow through with. Or if I don't have the skills, here's where I'm lacking. I need to fix this. And I don't know exactly what to do, but I'm going to get the right support so that our relationship has that support and a marriage can last a lifetime.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of like our generation today, we're seeing hot takes on social media when it comes
Yeah.
to dating. You have some good ones, which I like, which I do want to talk about that. You always say date them till you hate them.
Yes.
I disagree with that one, Aleeza. I
Yeah.
must say.
Tell me.
Because I feel like I always have a gut feeling when I'm about to go on a first date, or maybe it's a second date with someone. And
Yeah.
that gut feeling has never proven me wrong to this day.
Okay, so now we're going to get into, there are 3 types of daters. This is the Aleeza model here.
Oh, I'm ready.
We have what we call an I dater, a we dater, and a you dater. I daters are like you. They know. They know. They have a gut feeling. They just look at a picture and they know. Can you look at a picture and you just know?
I know.
You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
You know.
Totally.
And it never surprises you.
And I'll try to push myself, or at least earlier in my 20s, I would just go on the date, even though I was like, I'm iffy. Every time I've been iffy and I go, I'm always disappointed.
So I happen to think only 15% of daters are like you.
Wow.
Now, you think everybody's like you.
Yeah.
Right? So once you realize that not everybody processes like I process, then it could be for you that that's correct, right? Date them till you hate them might not be good advice for you. But for about 85% of the people out there, it's actually outstanding advice, right? So the I dater is very confident, very sure. They know, they're clear, and they don't even go on a lot of information usually, right? Like usually it seems like pretty shallow and that you're making a fast judgment. I'm sure people tell you.
People tell me I'm too picky.
And you're too
100%.
picky,
Yeah.
all those things,
Yep,
right?
yep.
Okay, now think of a friend who's what I would call a we dater. A we dater is a communal decision maker. So they're like, I don't know, what do you think? Or you're like, maybe it could be okay. What do you think? And they're always asking their friends or their family, or they're asking somebody else to help them make the decision. And their main thinking is, I don't know. Okay? I don't know. It's a go. I don't know. When you don't know, when in doubt, go out. Date them till you hate them. Because if you're unsure, keep dating until you have that clarity. Don't make a decision based on a place of just not knowing,
Yeah.
right? And then there's the you daters who like go out with you and you and you, and they kind of get along with you and you and you. And who are they going to marry? And it's very flexible. They could marry many different types. And they're not really sure. And they usually actually don't even need this advice because they give a lot of people a chance.
Wow.
But
Wow.
it's the we daters that need this advice more than anybody. But there are some I people like you who will sometimes make, like, there may be somebody that surprises you.
Okay.
Or you may shift over time where what you always knew and what you always wanted isn't what you realize you actually need.
Yeah.
And then you're like, well, I know this isn't my style. And you're right about that, but it might be somebody that's actually good for you. And you just need time to adjust to the fact that it's not what I always thought of, pictured. Yeah.
Well, I've had that experience actually recently with a guy. So you kind of like reading me very well there.
Yeah.
Yeah, with a guy that actually he's Israeli. I obviously won't share too much, but yeah, I was very surprised that there were certain characteristics that I was like, I don't want that in a partner. But with him, I just felt super calm, chill, very much so myself. And he had qualities that I never really thought I would like. But yeah, we got along really, really well.
And
So
had you ditched him instead of dating him till you hated him, then, right?
I would have never known.
You would have never known.
Yeah.
So every once in a while it does come to still surprise
and that was, I
you.
think, a rare situation for me personally.
Yes.
But you're right. It goes to show that, you do have to give people a chance sometimes.
Also, the older you are and like as everybody ages up, we start to shift and our perspective of the world is different and who we need and what we need is different than what we always have needed. And then we don't always adjust to who we date. We still date who we've always dated, but we might actually need something a little bit different now. And so again, your judgment is accurate for who you were, but it's not necessarily accurate for who you are.
Right. And who I
And
am
that
today
happens,
is very
right?
different than who I was
Right.
years ago. Totally. Oh, Elise, I have so many questions for you. I think this is a good place to start of kind of going off of what we're talking about is I'm 29 years old. I'll be 30 in a few months. So this is certainly an age where women are like, oh my gosh, if I'm single, what the fuck do I do? Like they're panicking. It's really interesting personally was more anxious about dating in my earlier 20s than I am today. I think that's for a variety of reasons, but I haven't fallen victim to what society says we should be doing, which I'm very proud of myself for. Unfortunately, a lot of my friends still feel that like pressure and the need to really find someone, but they haven't necessarily maybe like found themselves yet. Maybe that's not necessary to finding a partner. Maybe it like is or isn't. But I would love to get your thoughts on that, especially as like women. You know, we do have a biological clock. Like at the end of the day, if for those of us that want children, there is kind of a timeline. But
It's so funny because a lot of women talk about the fact that they want children and they say that like, yes, because I want children, but they don't go, and yes, because I want a husband. Think about it for a minute, right?
Yeah.
Like, yes, because I need to get married because I want a husband. No, because I want children.
right, and what comes before children is a husband, right?
So first I
Very
just want to point,
interesting.
right, I just want to point that out,
Yeah.
that our thinking centers around children, not around husband. For a man, it doesn't work that way. It centers around finding my wife and like, oh, yes, like we could have a family. Wife comes first.
Right.
It's very different, our thinking. So that's number one. There's something that's going on. Number two, I'm wondering, because you're saying like you didn't fall victim to society and traditional, finding your person or feeling the pressure. And I'm like, but you fell victim to a different thing that society is offering, which is like, be amazing, go get a job, be independent.
Yeah.
Oh, do your own thing, because don't fall victim to like finding a family.
Totally.
And now we fell victim to being independent and not finding a family.
And maybe too independent. Yeah. I
Right.
think there's a very fine line between being like the boss ass bitch that I want to be, but also realizing that I can have a partner and why can't I have it all?
And have a family and have
And
a
have a
home.
family. Exactly.
And build both. And at the end of the day, which is really more important? At least, which is more important to do first?
Right.
Okay? Modern day, everybody, number one, get a job, get an education, get a job, find a career, do what you need to do. Oh yeah, whoop, insert partner, let's make a life. It doesn't work that way, right? Like think about years gone by, we would find a partner, make sure that we had food on the table and figure out how to get by day. Now it's like, no, I need a degree. I need an education. Where did you go to school? What did you learn? Who are you? What do you want to be when you grow up? And to say, like when I was younger, to say that I wanted to grow up and be a wife and a mother was like ridiculous. It was like a joke, like you want to get your MRS. Like you want to be a wife and a mother. And it's like,
Your missus. Yeah.
right? Yeah, you want to get your missus. Like, really? That's what you want to do? No. Like, what do you want to be? And I was like, I don't know what I want to do in life. I don't know. It's crazy. I didn't have any career passion. I didn't have any drive, desire. I didn't know what I wanted to be when I grew up. I just knew I wanted to get married and I wanted to have a family, and that was the most important thing to me.
Yeah.
And that's what
And that's
guided
beautiful.
me.
And unfortunately, a lot of women, I think, in my world, right? Like I was living in New York City where everyone is hyper independent, career
Yes.
focused, just super
Yes.
driven on what they want to do, which I think is incredible. There's this other side of society that's similar maybe to like more of your more traditional upbringing of wanting to have kids and have a family, and that's the priority. But I think what's been lost in like the world that I come from is like, why can't you have both? Like there's this idea that like
And you can.
and you can, yeah. And I think that's something I've come around to more recently, which
Yeah.
is exciting.
Yeah.
And I kind of just feel that like there is a way to have both. With that comes some sacrifice.
On
right?
both ends, it comes like, first of all, which comes first? Which becomes a priority? How do you choose what's a priority and when it's a priority? And how do we constantly balance? I am changing the world. I am making a difference. I am doing something, and I am changing my world.
Right.
Right? The world, my world. And you have to do both. And I think another thing that we don't realize is that when we come into a healthy relationship with the right partner, it's like looking in the mirror every day. And we are constantly like straightening and fixing and arranging and organizing ourselves internally, externally, so that we can be our best selves. And when we have a great partner, they provide that mirror. They are that mirror for us. And when we're doing our own thing, but like, you don't have to check in with anybody else, right?
Yeah.
You can be your own boss. You can do your own thing, what you want, when you want. You can wake up when you want, go to bed when you want, go out when you want. And you have no accountability. And except for your own internal, like, I'll be the best I can be. But we often see that we're the best that we can be when we have somebody else that's by our side helping us be that. Like, think of a best friend, right?
Yeah.
You help to bring out the best in each other.
Yeah.
And hopefully we have a partner and somebody that can stand by our side for a lifetime to do that. I think that
Totally.
we should start with love, dating, relationships, and marriage. And then, great, go sparkle up the world and do what you want in the world also. But when you do it in reverse order, it's just very hard to find that person when you're already so independent and so different and
Yeah.
so doing what you're doing and also so happy to be alone because we've worked so hard to be alone, be independent, live alone, do our own thing. And then it's like, oh yeah, let's come together. Oh, now I have to compromise. And compromise becomes this dirty word as opposed to, of course you have to compromise. Everything in life is a compromise. You have to deal with professionally compromising. If you want to travel around the world, you have to compromise. You have to be on somebody else's timeline. You have to follow other rules and do other things. Yeah, in a relationship, we're doing that too. Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
No, you make such great points and it's very difficult. I think so many women have just been so disappointed by men in this age of dating. And I don't know where that comes from, if that's just this disconnect right now between men and women, which I would love to get your perspective on, because I think with the way we date is very different. And also people just are so negative about dating. I think social media, just you're in this echo chamber of like anti-men, anti-men, anti-men. And when you're in that mindset, I think it's really hard to date. And maybe you're in like a scarcity mindset too. And you're like, there are no good guys out there. So like you end up dating this like asshole because you think that you have to just settle on like the first guy that likes you, which I was settling in one of my previous relationships because I had a similar mindset. So it's nice to have a more open, well-rounded mindset because I think that that will lead me to finding my partner.
Yeah.
I hope you agree with that. Would love to get your take on that, Aleeza. And I also think too, like when people are so negative about dating, like the mindset really can deter you from finding the right person. And so my question to you is like, is it the mindset or is it where you live? Because people often blame like, oh, it's my city, right?
Oh, please.
But I think every city is hard.
Every city in the world, including New York City, Miami, LA, everybody tells me there's no good people to date here. It's the biggest joke. I laugh everywhere I go. There's no good people. It doesn't matter how populated your city is. There's always no good people. And I've dated everyone. I know everybody here. There's nobody for me. It's the most ridiculous comment I ever heard. And everybody feels the same.
Yep.
So like there's some universal feeling. And my answer is, first of all, you haven't met everybody. You haven't dated everybody. You've dated your little circle of people and your little outer circle of people. Like, that's it. And then you've made a decision in your mind. There's no good men, no good women. It goes both ways. I hear both things. I'll tell you what I think is a major issue, which probably is highly controversial. Everybody thinks there's no good men. And I will tell you that I actually happen to think men are strong, they have a lot of wisdom, they have a lot of loyalty, and they stick with something. And I happen to think that women modern day are so empowered that we disempower ourselves in relationships. I think that we make a big mistake in blaming the other side and not taking responsibility for what's happening. I want to explain what's happening.
Yes, I would
What's
like to know.
happening
Yeah.
is that women have become very masculine.
Yeah.
Look at who we are. Look at what we're doing in the world. We are not standing within our feminine energy. We are standing within a very masculine energy and going, I can do everything. I can do everything in the world, including having a baby on my own. Just need your sperm, no problem. I can get that from a bank. And I can do everything. I don't need a partner. I want a partner. Okay? And if I want to have you in my life, you better offer me something amazing that I can't give myself.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You are not wrong.
Okay?
So how do you channel your feminine energy?
Yeah. What is feminine energy? What is our feminine energy? What have we lost? And what have you, whoever it is, what have you actually lost? What are you not leaning into? How are you not interacting in the right way? Like, stop being the man in the relationship. Just stop being the man. Stop telling them they need to man up. You man up so much. We man up. I'll take responsibility myself also. We man up so much. There's no room for a man to be a man in a relationship. Yeah. And again, I'm going to give you personal examples because I'm not blaming outside. I'll show you what's happening inside too, because we've gone through a whole transition in a relationship. So we lived in the States. I was born and raised in Philly, and we moved to Israel almost 5 years ago. And when we moved to Israel, I said, listen, I can work from anywhere. So we'll like transition. Like you'll go from like you were working full time and I was mommy at home. And then we did like 50-50 and then we did like 75-25. And hey, we're moving to Israel. I'll work and you'll like take a sabbatical. You'll figure out what you want to do and how we can adjust there. And meantime, I'll carry that load. And that was our decision to get to Israel. Okay, what did I do? I stepped completely into taking full responsibility for the household and doing things that either we split or traditionally a man has done, right? Everybody, if you're up in arms and you don't like this, keep listening.
Yeah. keep it going. Keep playing.
Keep it going.
We'll anger people. It's okay. We can get people angry.
Right. You can get upset with me.
That's fine.
But how do you step into the role of running the house and running the household and now working and bringing in the money and then like what's left for him to do?
Yeah.
Where does he get to step up and be a man when I'm busy being the man of the household? Okay, I'm taking ownership and responsibility. And I've now been on the road for 3 years, traveling and just being out of the house. And he has stepped into the role of Mr. Mom. But he's not Mr. Mom. He's dad. And he does it differently. But he's home and he shops and he cooks and he makes sure the house is running and the kids get out and they go to where do they need to get to. And like he's running the home so that we actually have a home. And we made a decision that we believe in having one parent at home and not just having somebody else raise our kids. That was really important to us. So but he still needs to have a masculine role in our family and a decision-making role in our family. And it can't just be that I run everything. If I run everything, then what is there left for him? Like, why do you need a relationship?
Right.
If I can be mommy and daddy, then what is there for him to do? If I can act as the husband and the wife, then where do I leave space? So we work very hard on trying to keep this in balance. And it's always like, there's always ups and downs, right? Some weeks you're doing great and some weeks you're really doing terrible at it.
Yeah.
You know, and we have these interactions, but it's how do we speak to each other? How do we do decision making? You know, when I come home sometimes, the kids will ask me something and I'll say, ask your father. And they're like, no, I'm like, no. You ask him, right? He's running this domain right now.
Right.
This isn't my decision to make, right? It's not, I can't run everything and leave a place for him. There has to be a place for two people. And there has to be a respectable and respectful place. And it can't be, you know, for some women, they're like, well, I earn more than him, so I just need somebody that earns more than me. Really? How about if you have somebody that emotionally runs better the whole relationship than you? Yeah. Because you're not running a good emotional relationship because you're too busy
because we're working
being a boss,
right,
and running the world. So how about if he runs that and if you let him run that? Well, that's not traditionally a man's role, but sometimes they can do that better than the women. But they don't earn as much as you. And they're like, but I don't want to pay for him. Oh, he needs to be the man and do this and do that, but you need to also be the man at the same time. How does this actually work? It doesn't work. So I think that we are a large part of the problem that we are complaining about.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And we don't take accountability.
Take responsibility.
Yeah.
Be
I hear women
accountable.
all the time. All they do is complain. You'll hear in coffee shops,
Yeah.
women just ranting about horrible dates, horrible guys. And don't get me wrong, I was one of those girls years ago too.
Yeah.
I think it's easy to do that, especially after you have a bad relationship with someone. But not every guy is the same. And there are great guys out there. Like I have a younger brother. He's great. Like I have been around quality guys. Have I found my partner yet? No. But I know that I'm in a more positive, abundant mindset.
Right.
And hopefully that will lead me to finding a guy that's my match because I'm not speaking negatively into the universe.
And also no testing them like in the wrong way. I'm going to give you an example.
Oh, okay.
Okay? You go to a restaurant, right? The bill comes.
Oh no.
And what does she say?
Hey, want to split it?
Hey, want to split the bill? No.
Oof.
Why are you testing them?
Yeah.
Why? Because then you know what happens? This is what I say. You split the bill, you split the connection. And you split the bill. What do? You walk home and you call your girlfriend or your mother and you're like, never going out with him again.
Yeah, we're upset. Right.
I'm upset.
Right.
Now you offered to split the bill. This drives me, you can see, I get really upset about this. You offered to split the bill. He thinks She wants to split the bill. Like, if I don't split the bill with her, she's going to be upset with me that I didn't split the bill because she wanted to split the bill. And by the way, some of the women out there are going to be really upset if you don't split the bill with them. Why wouldn't you? I could pay my way. I'll pay my way. You pay your way. We'll see how this goes. So some people, the men, it's a lose-lose. If you split the bill, you lose. If you don't split the bill, you lose. But I will tell you, if just for the men, they need to know, don't split the bill. Say, I got this. And
Yes,
say later
100%.
if you want. If you want, you could say like later, well, I'll take you out. You can take me out another time,
So
right?
you don't think the girl should offer to pay on the first date?
What's the purpose of offering?
I don't know.
What is the purpose?
I guess to sound gracious, thankful. I don't know,
What-
but I think
what's gracious about
I think
it?
you can just accept it and say thank you.
That's
the
the
drink.
answer.
Thank you
so
for the
that's
appetizer.
Thank you is the answer. And also, the men also have been taken for a ride where they feel like women just want to go out for a drink and they want to go out for a bite to eat and they want to get a free meal. And for some women, not a lot. It's a very small percentage. For some, it's true.
Yeah.
For most people, it's not really true, but they want to step into their feminine. And what you should do is let somebody take you out and just say thank you. So the bill comes, you say nothing. You do nothing.
Do you reach for the wallet? You've heard about the reach. People say, "Oh, act like you're gonna."
Why?
I know.
Splitting the
I think
bill
women feel-
splits the connection.
I think women feel uncomfortable. Like, I think it's like,
Yes, we feel
"Oh my
uncomfortable to
God."
receive.
Yeah.
And then we judge them for not giving to us.
Yeah, you're
You
not wrong.
can't.
You can't have it all. You can't have
And
it
it's
both
not
ways.
fair to the men. They're really. They ask me all the time, and they're like, Aleeza, I don't know what to do. And I said, if she insists, you say to her, listen, I learned this thing. Splitting the bill splits the connection. And
Yeah.
maybe another time, if you want to take me out, we'll plan that too. And now you planted a seed that maybe we'll go out another time. And now you were a gentleman. And now, even if you don't want to see him again, okay? A lot of people are like, well, split the bill. Why? Because I don't want to see you again, so you shouldn't have to pay for me, okay? But even if you don't want to see him again, if he acts like a gentleman and a mensch, you're going to recommend him to your friend. And you might make his match.
Yeah, so let's talk about that. Recycling or upcycling our men and women that we go out with.
Yes.
This needs to happen more. I think we all go out with quality people that just maybe aren't our person.
Yep.
And that's amazing. That's an amazing opportunity to set that person up with someone that you know. If you just went on a few dates with someone, who cares? Like, let's get this cycling. There's going to be someone else out there for that person. Not many people are doing this.
They're not.
It's so easy, to me at least.
Okay. In
Right?
theory, it's so easy.
I got
It's
it.
really what I would call a community matchmaking model and mindset. You have to be in this mindset. And I did the show, right? We had a show and people were like, oh my gosh, it's amazing. Do you do this professionally? And I was like, yeah, the show was a reality show. This is really what I do. So I have a business where I do matchmaking, coaching programs, all of that. But I started the Jewish matchmaking movement. And it is a global movement to help communities make a match. And that means everybody should be trained in making matches. And you should be setting up your friends. There should be somebody in the community. If you go to a Jewish community, there's a rabbi, right? You know where to go. You know the synagogue, like it exists. Who's your matchmaker? Who's your local matchmaker? Do you have a local matchmaker?
No idea.
Right.
No.
In 3 years, that should not be your answer.
Danny Bergman, maybe.
Right.
Your girl.
Okay.
She definitely is making matches out here.
She is doing
Yes.
what needs to be
She's doing
done
God's work.
on a level of massive community matchmaking and bringing singles together.
100%.
And she's doing it through events and parties, okay?
Mm-hmm.
That's one way of doing it. Another way of doing it is having smaller single community events or having somebody have coffee dates. Sit down, let's meet, let me talk to you. Who are you? What do you want? What are you looking for? And then see if I know anybody and go meet all the other singles around town and have coffee dates, schmooze, connect, and try to make a match.
Yeah.
And it's not a business, it's not a profession. This is just like we, the Jewish people, are doing this to give back to the world and to create stronger communities.
Totally.
That's the whole goal.
That's important. Yeah. And how has your business changed, in the last couple of years, especially after October 7th? Have you seen more people trying to become connected to Jews? And how is that differ between, what you were doing beforehand versus, the last few years?
I think there's been a massive uptick in Jews wanting to date Jews, especially people who are secular or not religious, and they were open. Like maybe we would date people that were not Jewish, like whatever works out. We'll see what the universe sends me. That's what people would talk about.
And now those people who are more secular or less
they're like, I could only
reliant,
date
they're
somebody.
like, I need a Jew now.
Nobody will
Yeah.
understand me unless they're Jewish.
Yeah.
They won't get it. I can't even talk about it. I'm not feeling connected unless they're Jewish. And so we've seen a massive uptick in people saying, I want a Jewish soulmate and I want to find them now and help. Help. How do we do it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's
And
been
what
amazing.
to you is the most impactful part of your job, right? You're bringing Jews together. Like, why is it so important to maintain our lineage and for Jews to marry Jews, in your opinion?
So we talk post October 7th. We have our soldiers and they're fighting for our land. And we, the Jewish people, will have a land. And my question is always, but will we have a people to live in it? And there's anti-Semitism and people have wiped us out over the generations and they'll continue to do so. We've been promised to be small in number until the days of the Messiah and things shifting dramatically. We are always going to be a persecuted people. It's just the way of the world. And we do it to ourselves. It's not the world that does it to us only. We also do it to ourselves. And I don't know if you noticed, but I noticed this, that before October 7th, everybody's dating everybody, everybody's doing everything. Somebody comes to kill the Jews. Oh my gosh, we should marry Jews. Jews should only marry Jews.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, when an outside influence comes to fight against us, we band together and we realize the importance of who we are and what we have. Yeah. And when nobody's fighting against us, we fight against each other and we don't stay connected. We look to go anywhere and do anything. There's a certain, and this is really sad and like traumatizing to say, but there's a certain blessing in anti-Semitism, which is that it always binds us closer together.
Yeah.
We, the Jewish people, react to anti-Semitism by saying, we have to do something about this. We come together and we're like, oh my gosh, our heritage, our roots, our lineage, our traditions, who we are and what we have as a Jewish people, that's special. We have a connection with God. We have a connection with our communities. We are a light unto the nations. We try to do the best for the world. If you hear about any massive earthquake or flooding or some crazy world event that happens,
We're there.
Who's
Jews are
there? The Jews are there.
Israel was just there in Jamaica.
All over
Post hurricane.
And why are they in Jamaica?
Right.
Why are we in Jamaica?
Yeah.
We're not in Jamaica. Our people are not from Jamaica. We don't really have any connection to Jamaica. Why are we there? Because we band together to make the world a better place. And it's something unique about the Jewish people is that we love the world and we want to repair the world. We want to make it a better place. We want to bring more light into this world and we're always looking to do good. It's something unique about the Jewish people. You don't hear about all these other countries and cultures coming to love and to help other people. It's not their way. Like a lot of people help themselves or they help their communities or just like a little bit outside of it. We literally are global. We have Jews
Everywhere.
Literally
everywhere. Yeah, I was just in Israel on this trip, on a new birthright trip called
Yeah.
Storytellers,
Okay.
actually. And there were Jews from all over the world, Argentina,
Yeah.
Costa Rica, Australia, Europe. Like, it's just crazy that we're truly everywhere and can come back to the land of Israel and all have the same traditions, all know exactly what it means to be a Jew, even though we all grew up so differently.
Yeah,
At the same
and
time.
everybody's helping everybody in their communities. Like
Yeah.
we have our own communities, we have our schools, we have our education, we have our philosophy and our way. And in one sense, we're insular, right? Because we want to keep our traditions. And in the other sense, we're so worldly because we run out to help the world. We hear about something and we're like, oh my gosh, we have to do something about it. We feel called to help people in the world. And it's the most gorgeous thing in the world. And it's so unique. It really is something unique.
Yeah. Well, you said something so important that I want to get back to because this is something I often think about, especially as of recently, just being myself and how I've been building my own podcast and trying to be a voice for our people after what happened on October 7th and after experiencing the loss of many friendships due to what happened. Like people I thought would be in my wedding one day, unfortunately, can no longer call them friends of mine. And yeah, that'll really move you to stick together and to be more Jewish and to be just more aligned with our values. So that's what it's done for me. It's really motivated me to like pursue this as like not only a passion project, but maybe a career one day. And I will say something I think about often is that it really took this catastrophic event for me to like realize how important this was to me. Like, of course, I realized it a little bit before and was connected to Judaism and I've been to Israel, but it wasn't really until October 7th that all of this really came to light. And I think that's the case for a lot of us. So it's how do we maintain that same, drive to be Jewish and motivation to be Jewish and channel that identity when there's not a catastrophe going on in the world?
That's the question. So what changed for you? Because tell us a little bit about your dating life. Like, how were
Yeah.
you dating pre-October 7th to now? And then let's figure out a path forward.
Yeah. Well, I will say my whole life prior to recently, I never dated Jewish guys. It wasn't a priority to me. But then after a relationship ended when I was about 24, 25, I was dating someone very Catholic. And I had this feeling, I was like, he's so Catholic. He had never met a Jew before me. I know this isn't going to work. And even though I wasn't religious or super connected to my Jewish identity, that still bothered me. So I was, that was 4 or 5 years ago now. So then a couple years after that, I dated my first Jewish guy. I had my first like serious Jewish boyfriend. And we definitely were not for each other, but it made me just realize that that was something I wanted. And then October 7th happened shortly after we broke up. And of course that like instilled it even more than it did before. And that's something that's a core value of mine. And I think religion is a really hard thing to compromise on. And I respect my friends that are in interfaith marriages, like are engaged to people that are not Jewish. But I think it's difficult. It's something I didn't want to compromise on, and I give credit to people that can do both, but I also think upholding our faith is something to me that's really just a value that I don't want to compromise on.
So it's remembering that. It's like having that moment inside and remembering that that's something that's important to me, and knowing this is a value and this is a baseline value and it's a non-compromisable,
a non-negotiable.
Non-negotiable.
And I do think, like, if we're thinking about the pillars of or the foundation of a successful relationship, I feel like people often say it's like financial things, religion. I don't know. I would love to hear what you would say, like the core pillars.
Yeah,
religion's one of them, right? I was like,
sure.
it has to be, right?
Religion is definitely, money is, and values, like what you really want. Looks, everybody wants looks and all of those things. Great, you're gonna get a look that works for you, because you're not gonna marry somebody that doesn't work for you looks wise. I don't even count that as something like, oh, we need to make sure to check that box. That box will be checked.
It will be checked.
I don't need to worry about that. But will your values still be aligned? And if you like your Judaism, or you love your Judaism, or you feel connected to it, do you have a partner that also feels that way? And if you do, great. And if you don't, how's that going to work out? And then how are you going to raise your children? And then you want to send them to Israel and he's like, I don't care. Right? So how does that work out?
So
you can't just also find somebody that's Jewish. You have to find somebody that's Jewish that likes their Judaism, or that loves their Judaism, or that wants to follow and be a part of their Judaism in some way, and have a household that you can raise in the way that you want.
And that's what also makes it really hard, because that's such a great point, because there's different levels of Judaism within Judaism, and people that don't feel connected to Israel, or people that don't feel as religious as I may feel. And that is also a misalignment for me, right? Like I want someone to understand Judaism the way I understand it. And that makes it difficult. It makes it difficult.
So you have to remember that and not forget it. Like, so that we don't need another October 7th to remind us that we should be finding a Jewish person, finding a spouse, finding somebody that's in alignment with our deep core values.
Right. And how do we keep that in our forefront of our minds, like every single day, versus when these horrible things happen to the Jewish people.
We have, in Judaism, we have traditions. So think about the Passover Seder, right? Every year we talk about the fact that we were slaves in Egypt and we left. We go through the whole story, the same story every single year, right? Why? So that we should remember that, so that we should never forget. And that's what they talk about also with October 7th and the Holocaust and everything. Never forget, never forget. And I think that that's it. So having a point in our life. So now we have Passover, and now we have October 7th, where we never forget and we keep remembering. I think as we remind ourselves, and maybe you need a daily reminder on your phone once a month, check in, like, reminder, this is important to me. I'm not going to forget it, and I don't need an outside reminder to check me in and wake me up. Like Boker Tov, good morning, set my alarm, wake myself up with the reminder that my Judaism matters and my decision matters. And for me, as somebody that loves the Jewish people, it matters to me whether you do or don't marry somebody Jewish, because it means that my children or my grandchildren will or won't have another Jewish person to marry. And your decision, where everybody's like, it's your decision, you do you. When you do you, and it has no effect on me, we're not connected. You do you. Yes, you do you. And by the way, your Judaism matters to you, but it matters to me too. It's really important to me, because I don't have a future without you having your Judaism at the forefront of your life.
Yeah.
That to
Yeah.
me enhances my life and the future for the Jewish people. I care about that. But everyone's like, oh no, independent, you do you, like we're all, it's okay, I can do my own thing, it doesn't matter. It doesn't have an effect on you. It sure does. It really affects me. It really affects my future. It really affects the future of the Jewish people. And I care about the Jewish people. I think we're fabulous. I think look, Christian people do good things for the world, and Hindus have their own traditions. Everybody has something special about who they are and what they offer. But it's no more special than what we offer also. Right? You do your religion, your thing, good, but I'm going to do mine. I'm going to live mine. I'm going to be a part of that. And it matters. And it doesn't just matter to me or my mother, father, my family. That's all. It's just no big deal. Literally, you marry a Jewish person, you build a Jewish family. We have Jewish people.
Yeah.
You don't? It's dead. The end of your line is dead. That matters to me. That matters to me. That's upsetting. That's
And that doesn't
sad.
matter to some people. A lot of
It doesn't
people.
matter to some people, and I can't make them care about it.
Yeah.
But for the people that it matters to, like we're going to do great things in the world. Do you want to be a part of that or you don't?
Yeah. Get in or get out.
Get in or get out.
Yeah. I like that. I like that a lot. So Aleeza, I want to ask you about this theory that I think you've talked about before, the taxi cab theory and having your light on.
Okay, tell me.
Oh, you don't know this one? Oh, this is a new one.
I don't know like all the catchy phrases.
Okay, so this is the one where it's like typically referring to a guy, I think, but maybe it can be referred to a man or a woman.
Yeah.
It's like when your light is on, then you're ready for a partnership. You're finally ready for a relationship. Like you can be single for 5 years and be emotionally unavailable, but you get to a certain point in your career, in your life,
and your
light
light is on.
And your light's on, yes.
Okay.
I think that women's lights, females' lights are always on. But I think men really need to be in a secure place in their lives to have that light on. What do you think about that?
Okay, so now that I'm thinking about this analogy, I think that women sometimes have their high beams on or sometimes have their like low beams on, but like just the regular, normal, healthy light is less on. They're either like, oh my gosh, I'm in a panic, I gotta find somebody. Or they're like, I mean, like, yeah, I'm cool if I find, I'm like, good, I'm fine. But like, if I found somebody, that would be amazing too. But like, to be in a secure place to say, I wanna find my person. Now is a moment. I'm ready, I'm in a good, healthy place. I'm working hard to balance both. I don't think I see women there as much. Men usually are on or off. they're
Yeah, I
either
feel like men are just so simple. It's
I'm
like one or
ready,
the
I
other.
want to find my person, and now's my moment. Or like, I'm
Right.
dating, like whatever. I'm dating, but like it's not my, I don't know if it's going to be my moment. And sometimes it can be their moment, but I think they are more black and white.
That's why with men, I really think that they don't marry the person that's necessarily right for them, but it was the right time.
Yeah, so that is a really popular, trendy thing that everybody is talking about. Like, oh, you just marry the moment, the person in the moment. Everybody, when you get married, you have married your soulmate. That is the person that you are meant to be with, okay? Yes, it has to be the right person. It has to be the right time.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, but they don't just marry the next human. They just decide to get married, and then they find a good human in front of them, and they marry them.
Okay.
Like, it's, I don't know, all the trendy things are
I
like,
know,
oh my
we're-
gosh, it's so trendy. It's what they say. Everybody said, I'm like,
You're like, I hate that. We're
know, like,
debunking that
stop.
immediately.
Like, stop,
Yeah,
stop.
yeah. Okay, fair. I had to ask you about that because I feel like as women, we always just think about this, how girls are just, maybe it's the desperation. We're just a little bit more desperate than men are. And then they're like, okay, I'm ready when I'm
I know,
ready.
but we go like, I think we have like an emotional roller coaster. So it's like desperation. Oh my gosh, now. And like, it's like too much. And so the men are like, whoa.
Yeah, like you can sense that when someone is
Yes, they're like, I want a
desperate-
child from you, but I'm not sure I want a marriage from you.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a problem.
It's a problem.
It's a problem.
But we all, again, we talked about that in the beginning. Like,
Right.
I might
I want
want
kids, but I don't necessarily want a husband. So
Yeah.
you need one first, you know?
But we really have to lean into like, I want to be married. I want to be a married person. It's not that I want to be in love. It's not that I want to have love, find love, true love, everlasting, you know, the twin flame, the spark, whatever you want to call it. I want to be married because I want to be in a relationship with you for the rest of my life. Because
Yeah.
I want to build a life with you. Good. I hope we'll have love. I hope it'll be often, right? But I want to be married because if I only want to have love and be in love with you when I don't love you today and I like, maybe I love you, but I don't like you, or maybe I love you, but I don't want to talk to you, then all of a sudden I want to divorce you. But when I want to be in a relationship with you because I want to be married and I want to be married to you, whether I like you, I love you tomorrow, if I feel it, I don't feel it. Feelings come and go. Everybody's all married to a feeling. Stop being married to a feeling. When you are married to a feeling, you are a slave to ups and downs because feelings will always go up and down. And you can't actually trust a feeling alone. A feeling alone without wisdom, without insight, and without knowing that when it's rainy outside, you don't feel as good. And when it's sunny outside, all of a sudden you're like magically happy and everything's fine.
Yeah.
Okay? That's a feeling. Great. How trustworthy is that feeling? And if we apply feelings to marriage and I just don't feel something, okay, but what are you doing to produce that feeling? And when we talk about love, ahava, love, at the root of it means to give. Giving develops that feeling. So if you're not feeling like you love your partner, you're probably not giving to them enough. It's not about them giving to you. When they give to you, they feel love. Okay? You might feel appreciated, you might feel happy, but you're not growing your love for them. They're growing their love for you by giving.
I like that. That makes me think about, I saw something recently. It's like, my husband just gave me the ick. Like, you obviously, you've heard the ick, that
Yeah,
phrase.
yeah.
Yeah, like, I feel like that's a common one that my generation, we say that all the, like, these poor men, I always think about it, like, the way we talk about men sometimes.
It's not so nice.
It's not nice. It's really not. And my girlfriends and I were like, wow, men have it tough. Like, they could do one thing, like send a text.
Yep.
And we're like, oh God, that's the ick, you know?
Right.
And it's like, they can't do anything right.
Right.
So I do feel for guys in that regard, but it's that feeling of like, you're not always gonna have like the highs and highs of marriage. It's like,
Right.
you might get turned off by your partner one day and like, that's okay.
And that's okay.
And you don't need to end your marriage over it, over
No.
getting the ick or whatever.
And you don't even need to end a date over the ick either, which is
Yeah.
why it's like date them till you hate them, or a 5-date challenge of, I like to do a 5-date challenge, by the way, with no touching. I don't know if you know about this.
No, I don't know about
Yeah,
this.
so in Judaism, we have this concept of shomer digia, which means not to touch, to guard the touch, and to wait till you get married. Now, I live within the world. Don't worry. I grew up secular. I became observant. I know both worlds.
Yes.
Okay, I'm not unreasonable, but I say.
No, but I like this. I like
Okay.
this. I think you should wait.
Okay, so the line goes like this.
Mm-hmm.
Touch hearts before other parts.
Oh, that is, wow, I wasn't ready for that, Lisa. Oh, I like that. Touch hearts before other parts.
Right. So,
Okay.
and so I say 5 dates, no touching. If I like you enough and you like me enough that we actually go out on a 6th date, first of all, it'd be a miracle. Second of all, we'd probably be pretty close to being in a pretty intense, serious relationship because nobody's going out on 5 dates with somebody that they really don't like with no touching.
Yeah, that's like Love is Blind, IRL.
Correct. IRL. And the third thing is that with no touching, it's not like, do they like me? Do they like me? They're not going to go out with you if they don't
They
like
didn't
you.
like you.
If they did not touch you. Like,
Right. Hello, ding, ding, ding. They obviously like you. There's no
it's
question.
So it's a
like
win,
that.
win, win. And it's moderate. Like, okay, so after 5 dates, the 6th date, which has to be at least 24 hours after the 5th date. No cheating here, number one. And number two, no sleeping with each other on a 6th date. That's ridiculous. Like, at least when you open the
At
door,
least kiss. Just
take
a
it
kiss.
slow.
Right,
we don't
right.
need to jump into it because we're still touching
build-up.
hearts before other parts. Like, make sure I really like you, you really like me, and there's something here. And the men, by the way, you know, they don't fight me on this. They tell me they would go out on 10 dates with no touching. I've heard a man tell me even 20 dates with no touching if I liked her and I wanted her. And you know what the women say? The women say, no, he won't stick around. And I was like, sweetheart, if he sticks around because of that, that's not why he likes you.
Wow.
And the men are like, you're right. They all tell me I am right. And they would wait, like, till the end of the earth, they will go to wait for you.
For the right girl.
For the one that touches their heart. For the one that sparks their interest. They don't need, it's not that they don't need that. They are more than happy to wait.
Well, guys are hunters too. They like the chase.
They
want to.
do. And women
they wanna
think
go
that
after
you
it.
just have to put out because that's the only way to catch him. And you could not be more wrong. And modern women are ruining their own chance of being with the right guy.
Wow.
And he thinks also, if you don't have high enough standards for yourself, how are you going to hold me to a high enough standard to be my best self?
Wow. That I'm really liking this phrase, and I think people definitely need to get on this bandwagon. Maybe I myself,
Can you try
myself
it?
included,
Take the challenge. I always say,
I will
take the challenge. You'll see the change.
I will take the challenge.
And then you
I'm
have to
ready for
report
change.
back.
I will report back, Aleeza. I will report back. Well, this has been so much fun. Thank you so much for being here. I have one final question for you.
Yes.
What is this book I have sitting in front of me? And when did you write it? And what is it about?
Okay.
Maybe you can share it.
Yes. This is my present to you. This is
thank
called
you.
Matchmaker. Find Me a Love That Lasts. We do talk about no touching, the 5-date challenge, so you'll brush up on it just in case you didn't catch all the rules there. I wrote it and it came out in January of this year, of 2025. And it's all about finding a love that lasts. Like everything that you want to know about, like doing it right, doing it wrong, men, women, the whole story.
It's right there.
Yeah, like every little secret.
Oh,
like
yay.
you got to do the math, soulmate clarity, date them till you hate them, 5-date challenge. Like, yeah, it has every little thing in here, and it's like a story. So you see somebody else and how they do it, whether they do it right or wrong, and what it turns into, and you're like, oh.
You're like, I don't
And then you can
wanna
learn
do
how to
that.
try it a little bit different. I would say,
Okay.
like, if what you're doing isn't getting the results that you want, so let's just do it a little differently. If you don't like it, you can always go back to doing what you're doing. But I've worked with thousands of people, and I like pick the best advice that universally tends to work. Only use what speaks to you. If it doesn't speak to you, don't follow it. But there's enough to
Okay.
choose from.
Oh, I like this. I'm excited to read
And
it.
I
Thank
signed
you
it for
so
you.
much. Thank you. Oh, that means so much. Also, on that same note, because I see the little Netflix sign here, is there going to be a season 2?
So we don't have a season 2 in works for Jewish matchmaking at the moment,
Okay.
but anything can change at any time.
We need something. I'm ready to pitch something to Netflix.
Okay, let's do it.
I think we need like Casa Amor, Love Island vibes, Miami House of Jewish singles. That could be spicy and fun.
The Ahava,
Like
something.
Ahava of Miami, Love of Miami. I don't know. I just think like the Jewish press, if we're gonna do it in the States, it should be in Miami, is my personal opinion.
Okay, so let's do it.
Like we need to get on that.
Okay, we can talk.
Okay, we'll talk offline. Okay.
My agent will call your agent.
Call me later. Okay. Well, thank you, Aleeza, so much for being here.
Thank you
This
for
is so
having
fun.
me.